Welcome back to the Autry Benton Show. Today we have my friend Ken Richardson joining us today. No one in Horry County has affected education as much as him, so I'm excited to sit down and get to know more about him. Ken, thank you so much, buddy.
Thank you, Autry. Good to see you, buddy.
It's an honor. You know, I said it in the opening, but you've done so much for education in Horry County and this state, and I just want to thank you for that service you've given us.
Oh, man, listen, my mentor, when I was coming along, he told me a long time ago, he said, you know, Ken, if the community's good to you, you got to be good back. And he was real big with the hospitals, and he kind of had that base covered. So my thing was education. So, you know, like I was telling some of the guys earlier, you know, I served 4 years on Coastal's board and went over to Horry Georgetown Tech and served 20 years there. And then ran for school board chairman and won that and served 4 years there. And now I'm on the State Board of Education. So, you know, I got 2 more years, I'm going to feel like I've done my part.
Wow. Well, what was it that pushed you towards education?
Probably, I would say lack of. You know, when I was in school, I went to Horry Georgetown Tech, and I don't want to say I wasn't college material, but I couldn't afford to go away to college, and Horry Georgetown Tech was affordable, and I had, you know, I had met Mr. Fowler, you know, back a long time ago. I used to have a peanut route in downtown Conway. I sold boiled peanuts when I was 8 years old on my bicycle and handlebars. And Mr. Fowler used to always tell me, he'd say, well, you know, Ken, when you grow up, I want you to come to work with me, you know. And so when I finished Horry Georgetown Tech, excuse me, at that time, Mr. Fowler was the chairman. And so it's kind of been like a little family thing there. You know, Mr. Fowler was the chairman there, and then I went and I became the chairman, and my son-in-law Robert just took over as chairman.
Wow.
So
that's
kind of worked out great.
That's special. That's special. You know, we you know, talking about education like you, we talk about it here a lot that 4-year degree is good, but it's not for everybody, is it, Ken? There's got to be different avenues for people.
I tell people this all the time, Autry. I mean, you know, listen, I go to the doctor all the time. I mean, I need a doctor. You know, lawyers, you know, they're like nuclear weapons. If you're going to point yours at me, I'm going to point mine back at you. So you know, you have to have them.
Yeah.
But if it's 104 degrees in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, in the middle of July, and your air conditioner goes out, you want an HVAC guy more than you want a doctor or a lawyer.
Well said.
So you know, it's a great thing because they go right to school, they get out, they immediately start work, they start paying taxes, they become good citizens. I tell people, back when I was on the school board here locally, I said, you know, a perfect day for me would be, you know, I'd meet somebody, a teacher, and they started out at Horry Georgetown Tech. Yeah. They went to one of our local high schools and went over to Horry Georgetown Tech for 2 years, and then did the bridge program and transferred over to Coastal, got their degree, went right into teaching, and never left Horry County. Yeah. That's a perfect thing for me.
I love it. I love it. That's good. That's good. Well, I want to step back in time a little bit. I think a lot of people know your public service and stuff, but we want to know the beginnings of Ken. So tell me about growing up.
Well, you know, like I was telling you a while ago, I started out, I've been selling my whole life. I started out selling boiled peanuts when I was 8 years old. I actually got a book coming out in March called Peanut Boy. Oh, wow. And it kind of tells a little bit about that. But we used to have a department store in Conway called Leader Banner. And Mr. Howard Banner, he ran that. And I was 16 at that time, and I went up there and I needed a job because, you know, I didn't come from a wealthy family. And I went in and they gave me an application. Yeah. And as I was going out, I didn't even take the application with me. I left, and Mr. Banner stopped me, and he said, "Son, did he give you an application?" I said, "No, sir." I said, "Mr. Banner, I think he misunderstood me." I said, "Sir, I don't need an application. I need a job." And he said, "Well, I don't really have anything right now, except unless you want to work around, you know, folding clothes and emptying the trash and things like that." I said, "I'll do anything." Wow. I said, "I just need a job." Yeah. And I kind of built it up from there, and so when I was 17, they kind of let me kind of start waiting on a few customers, and this is that story that got told, because you know how people do, and but I had this lady come in one day, and I really didn't pay much attention. I could tell something was a little bit going on, but I didn't know what it was, and I asked her if I could help her, and she said yes, she was looking for a suit, and that was back, I don't know if you remember back, well, you don't, but back in the 70s, they used to always had specials, you know, you buy a sport coat and you get you get a pair of pants, but you could pay $5 more and get a matching pair of pants. Yeah, they had all kind of specials going on. So this lady, she picked out a coat and told me what she needed, and she picked out a coat and a pair of pants, and I said, ma'am, I said, listen, I said, if you don't mind me mentioning this, I said, you might not be interested, I said, but you know, for $5 more, you can get an extra pair of pants to go with this outfit that you picked out. And she looked at me and kind of had a little tear in her eye, and she said, son, she said, my husband is at Goldfinch right now, right down the street.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't know. Yeah. And she said, and I bought this suit to bury him in.
Yeah.
And man, I felt about that tall.
Yeah.
But the salesman in me, I said, well, do you have anybody else in the family that might be able to use the pair of pants for $5?
Right.
And so she bought the suit and the matching pair of pants.
Right.
That was not that big of it. I never thought another thing about it.
Yeah.
But you know how Conway was at that time.
Yeah.
And the word got around town, and the next thing you know, it was all over town that some 17-year-old kid had sold a widow a suit and a matching pair of pants for her dead husband. and that's not quite the way it was.
Yeah.
But
you weren't going to miss the sale.
I wasn't going to miss the sale. And then, so one day, about 6 months later, I'm sitting there, and the guy walks in, and he said, told me he was looking for me, and he said, "Are you the guy that sold the suit?" And I you know, the story just kind of got embellished.
Yeah.
And this guy hired me as a salesman, and I worked with him for about a year, and then started Horry Georgetown Tech, got it with Mr. Fowler, and I worked. It's basically the only place I ever worked with Mr. Fowler.
Yeah. Well, good. Thank you for sharing that. But let's step back a little bit. Tell me a little about your mom, your dad, and you grew up in Conway, right?
Grew up in Conway, yeah. Played football at Conway. And Coach Buddy Sasser was my coach.
Tell me something about Buddy Sasser.
Buddy Sasser's taught me the greatest lesson anybody's ever taught me, that everybody puts their pants on the same way, one leg at a time.
Good advice.
And that was, Buddy Sasser was a great man. And, you know, the year that, my first year was the year we integrated. And so you had everybody from Conway High School and everybody from Whittemore High School, but everybody had to try out again.
Right.
And, I mean, I was a little guy, you know, and, you know, I like to tell people now that I was a game decider. Because when I went in, either we had really beat the devil out of the other team, or either they had beat the devil out of us. And but I never got to decide a team. But I had a lot of good friends that were great football players back in those days.
Yeah. Well, great. That's good. That's good. So graduated Conway High School.
Graduated Conway High School. Left there. Went over to Horry Georgetown Tech.
What did you study there? What was your
business?
Business.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And,
so tell me about meeting Mr. Fowler.
Well, I met him, like I said, when I was started when I was 8 years old. He was on my peanut route.
Okay.
And Fowler Motors was actually right across the street from the courthouse. And at that time, I had...
Whoa, downtown?
Downtown, yeah. I had basically the best route in Conway because I had all the tobacco warehouses.
Okay.
And all the stores. And at that time, I think we only had like three or four places in Conway that had air conditioning. Right. So I knew where to go. I mean, the beauty shop, Platt's drugstore, Nye's drugstore, and the bank. So I would try to take turn, because we would all meet up at the trestle at lunchtime, all of the peanut boys.
Right.
We'd all meet up there and park our bicycle and go swimming every day.
I got you.
That's how we cooled. I mean, you know, back then.
Life was simple and good.
It was simple and good, but you know, God's been good to me, and the people of Conway have been good to me. The people of Horry County have been good.
Yeah.
And you know, so that, I think, going back to what you said earlier, you know, why did I get an education? You know, that was it.
Yeah, I got you. Good deal. So did you started selling cars for Mr. Fowler?
Yep.
What were y'all selling? What was y'all's line then?
We had Cadillac, Oldsmobile, Cadillac, Oldsmobile, and Mercedes.
Mercedes. You had a Mercedes?
Had Mercedes at that time.
Wow.
And then later on, we bought Jeep.
Yep.
And then I bought BMW after I bought the business from Mr. Fowler.
Yep. So what was your, once you got into selling cars, did you instantly love it, Ken?
Yeah, I'll never forget, and I don't mean this in a bragging way, but, you know, I've always heard if you tell the truth, it's not bragging, but I'll never forget, I started on February the 16th.
What year is this from?
1978.
1970, okay.
Started on February the 16th. February only had 28 days in it.
Okay.
I was salesman of the month that month.
The first month?
First month, and I won it 56 months in a row.
Did you have a strategy then, or you just knew to talk to people?
Well, no, I knew everybody, for one thing, and my wife's father, of course, was the judge over in Conway, and her family knew everybody. Right. So in between the two of us, I mean, I'll never forget, one year we went on vacation, and I got salesman of the month on vacation.
Wow. Now, when did you meet Miss Donna?
I met her, right around 78.
At the same time?
Uh-huh.
Did she go to school in Conway as well?
She did. She was younger. She's 4 years younger than I am, and but we dated 2 weeks, and asked her to marry me.
Whoa! You dated her 2 weeks and asked her to marry you?
Yep. And,
oh boy!
And
what did her dad think about that?
Well, her dad was the judge. I mean, she let me know if I did anything wrong, they'd put me under the courthouse. But you know, everybody in life, I don't care how successful they think they've been, nobody is going to make it without a good wife. Mm-hmm. You know, that's why I told you a while ago, I'd have never come on this show if I had to come after Amanda was on here.
Oh, she's a good one. Wow. So how many years y'all been married now?
Next year will be 50.
50. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. You know, I always ask this question, what's some marriage advice you give everybody?
Well, I actually wrote a song about that not too long ago. It's called "You Can Be Right or You Can Be Married."
Oh, boy. Wow. I love that. And, that's good.
But, you know, I guess there's very few things in life I regret. One thing I regret, I wish I would have found Langston Church earlier.
Oh, wow.
Because you know, my mom passed away, and I didn't want my dad going to church by himself, so we went a couple times, you know.
Yeah.
And just fell in love with the church, and I know that's your church too. Yeah. And now I have moved to the back row because I watched one of your shows, and your wife said that she reads people's lips when they sing, and so I moved back a little bit because I don't want her to say, "Boy, Ken can't sing."
Well, I can't find you. I used to know where you sit, but I can't find you now. But we've been very blessed. There's lots of people there, so it's hard to see.
It's a good group of people, and it's a family.
Yeah,
is what it is.
It is. So, what drew you to Langston? If you don't mind me asking.
Well, like I said, I didn't want my dad up there sitting there by himself. First thing, but then the second thing, you know, was Pastor B. Yeah. You know, well, I've been a member of another church for 40 some years, mm-hmm. and but Pastor B, he just brought something out in me that needed to come out.
Yeah, that's great. Well, we're glad you're there.
Yeah, I'm glad to be there.
Glad you're there. Good deal. So going back there, so I heard that you were salesman of the month for a good while. You had a long run there.
Yeah, 56 months in a row.
56 months in a row. One of our mutual friends told me a story one time, something about ice cream, a little thing you had going. You want to share that story with us?
Oh, gosh. Well, the reason I didn't get it 57 months in a row, Mr. Fowler wanted me to become the sales manager. Yeah. But he kept waiting on me to ask him for the job, and I kept waiting on him to ask me to do the job. Yeah. So finally, we kind of come to a head, and he wanted me to become the sales manager. And I said, "Well, Mr. Fowler," I said, "I'll tell you." I said, "I'll do it, even though I have to cut. I was going to have to take a cut and pay to be the sales manager." I said, "But now, you got to let me do it the way I want to do it." I said, "I'll never do anything wrong, mm-hmm. and I'll never apologize." Yeah. you'll never have to make apologies for me.
Right.
Because I'm not going to go out there. I know how much your word means to you. And because my mom got real upset with me when she heard I was going into car business.
Did she?
Yeah, because she thought there was, everybody in the car business, nobody told the truth, all this kind of stuff. And there's a lot of truth to that, because if everybody that said they were going to come back and bought, came back and bought,
yeah,
I'd be a lot further down the road than I am now. But anyway, Mr. Fowler, he made me the sales manager, and one of the first things I did back at that time, we had a Buttercup ice cream place on 501. Mm-hmm. And we had PCW over here at the beach, so I went over to PCW and I bought a little small chest freezer and told them to deliver it to the dealership. And I went down to the Buttercup and I told them, I said, I want 25 half gallons of chocolate and 25 half gallons of vanilla ice cream, and deliver it to the dealership, put it in that freezer. And then I called all the salesmen in. I said, guys, I said, listen, I said, I've worked with all you guys as a sales, but now, I'm the sales manager. It's going to be a little bit different. I said, so the way we're going to do this is, I don't care who you talk to, you have to come and get me before they leave.
Right.
And so, sure enough, Mr. Fowler's walking around there trying to figure out what's going on. They've delivered this freezer. There's ice cream in there. Everybody's wondering what's going on. So the very first people I ever went in to talk with, one of my salesmen come and got me, brought me in, and people said the same thing that everybody says.
Yeah.
Well, we really like this car,
right,
but we're going to go home and we're going to think about it.
Yeah.
So I said, well, chocolate or vanilla?
Yeah.
And they said, what do you mean? I said, well, what's your favorite flavor, chocolate or vanilla?
Yeah.
And the wife might speak up and say chocolate.
Yeah.
So I'd go and they'd give me some little bags, and I'd go and I'd get her a thing of chocolate, a half a gallon of chocolate ice cream, and I'd take it and I'd give it to her. I said, now listen, tonight, when you go home, y'all going to sit around, you're going to watch TV, and you're going to talk about this car.
Yeah.
And I want you to eat this ice cream, I want you to think about me, I want you to come on back tomorrow and buy it.
Yeah.
And so they would leave. So these people didn't get out the door, and Mr. Fowler is in there, and so, what in the world, what is going on? And I said, Mr. Fowler, everybody that comes in here tells us the same thing.
Yeah.
I said, they tell us that they're going to go home, they're going to think about it, and then they're going to come back.
Yeah.
And I said, and then they leave here and they go straight to Hadwin White or to Bob Bible or somewhere else.
Yeah.
I said, but there ain't nobody going nowhere with ice cream in the car. I said, they're going to go home, they're going to sit there, they're going to think about it. And so that was another one of them stories that kind of got...
They couldn't go to another lot with that ice cream, could they?
Kind of got embellished a little bit, but I love selling. I've always been a salesman, and the greatest sales job I've ever done, I don't mind, I say it all the time, is my wife.
Yeah.
It only took her 2 weeks, and it worked out for me, and it's worked out good, and she's my biggest asset. Yeah,
well, that's very kind. Well, Ken, I think that you really do enjoy people, and I think you enjoy conversating with people, so I think that makes you a good salesman.
Well, I do.
So tell me about, how long did you work for Mr. Fowler, and when did you buy the business? Tell me about that.
45 years total. I bought the business, Mr. Fowler, I bought part of the business in 1995, and then he died in 1999, and I bought the rest of it from his estate after he died.
Yeah. Was that a big change, or was it just business as usual, or what was your thoughts about it?
It was not a big change for me. I mean, it wasn't an ego thing for me. I didn't change the name. I left everything. I used to go sit in the customer's lounge when I owned it.
Yeah.
And I've had people say, well, I talked to Mr. Fowler the other day. He told me if I brought my car over, I wouldn't have to wait long. And Mr. Fowler had been dead 3 years.
Oh, boy.
You just went along with it. I just went along with it. I never said anything to anybody, because it wasn't me having my name on the sign wasn't that big a deal to me.
Yeah.
I wanted to keep his legacy going, and we did. We did the Fowler dining room over at Horry, Georgetown Technical College, and
so you honored him with that. That's very kind.
Yeah.
What's something about the car business that most people just probably wouldn't know? I mean, just a little insight or something, maybe interesting. Not anything,
Well, the thing about it is one thing I always had a problem with, and this goes back into the 70s and early 80s, is I never liked the fact that somebody working in Detroit was making $29 an hour building a Cutlass Supreme Oldsmobile. And then they would send it to me and expect me to sell it to somebody making $9 an hour. That never really made sense to me.
Yeah.
But you know, all the cars now, I mean, you know, everything's branded. I mean, you know, if you've got a Chevrolet truck, you can drive right down the street and get a GMC truck. It's basically, with the exception of the grill, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, you got different models and everything, but I will tell you this: the car business. A lot of people in the car business get a bad rap. They really do.
Yeah.
And but there's some good people in the car business.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of good friends that I've made over the years, and you know, when I was the Mercedes dealer. You know, well, we only had 6 Mercedes dealers in the state of South Carolina. I mean, we were all friends, and we only had 325 Mercedes dealers in the United States.
Wow.
We only had 351 BMW dealers.
That's a small club.
I was the only dealer in the United States that had Mercedes, BMW, and Cadillac at one location in one building.
Wow, you were the luxury car man.
Yeah.
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 Tell me about this. What would you tell anybody who wants to get in business, some general business advice to somebody starting out, you know?
Well, do what you say you'll do. That's the first thing. Get your wife behind you.
Okay.
That's the second thing.
Yeah.
And you know, you never know about the product you're selling. Everybody sells different products.
Right.
You know, but if you, I mean, I had a guy one time I'll never forget. He ordered a car from me, and he'd been waiting on this car, and it took 3 months to come in. And I'll never forget. I couldn't wait to go to the phone and call him. I said, "Man, the truck just pulled up, and your car is on the truck."
Yeah.
And the engine locked up on the car before they ever got it off the truck.
Oh boy.
So, you know, I mean, anything that's made, you know, you're going to have problems.
Yeah.
And you just can't sweat everything.
I don't know if you agree. So I think a good businessman is how he handles those situations. When someone has a bad day, how you handle them, I think, is important. Don't you agree with that?
I do. And the thing about it is, and I've said it from my very first day up until the day I sold out, I never ever said so-and-so works for me. I would always say so-and-so and I work together.
That's good.
I mean, because we were a team. It was always the team.
Yeah.
And you know, back a long time ago, I remember had a bunch of dealers. We used to have an automotive department at Horry Georgetown Tech, and a bunch of some of the other car dealers got upset because they felt like that I had an inside, you know, as a guy was graduating, you know, that I would have the first shot at him. And I said, well, guys, you know, it goes by what you pay.
Yeah.
You know, I've always believed you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. If you want the best, you got to pay the best.
Good advice.
And that's why I never had much turnover at my dealership.
So you really took care of your team.
I really did. I had one guy that worked for me, worked with me, that Mr. Fowler, when I bought the business, he said, you can do anything with anybody you want, but you can't fire this guy. Yeah. He said when he gets to the point he can't do anything but sit in a chair, get him a good chair.
That's good.
And I did. That's good.
Mr. Ken, tell me about your kids.
My kids?
Yes.
Well, I got a son that I'm very proud of. He's he's in electronics. He builds amplifiers and he builds like guitar pedals. He can make the pedal and that kind of stuff, and he does a lot of stuff. He works for a shop out of Charleston. And then I've got a daughter that lives up in Conway, and she's involved in a beauty company called Atmosphere, and I'm real proud of her. And you know, of course, I got a son-in-law who's a banker there in Conway, and I have 2 grandsons. One of them just graduated. Literally just graduated. I just got back last week. I took him to Costa Rica fishing for his little graduation thing.
That's great. So your son's name is?
My son is Jason.
Jason. And
my daughter's Christy. And then got a son-in-law, Robert, and Riles and Wynn are my 2 grandsons.
That's great. That's great. And you got an affection for Costa Rica, don't you? You spent some time.
Yeah, I'm a legal resident of Costa Rica.
Wow.
I mean, I'm not a citizen, you know, because Obama changed a bunch of that, and you know, with dual citizenship and that kind of stuff. But People used to ask me, they said, what's Costa Rica like? I said, it's like going to Ainer 100 years ago.
100 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. So, so you sold your business, is that right? What year?
Sold it in 2009.
Yeah, good deal. Was that a hard decision?
Well, it was, and I'll tell you how that happened. I was actually out in Vegas at a meeting, and you know how the phones in the room, I have that little light that blinks sometimes?
Yeah.
I never ever saw mine blink, but one night I go in there and the little light's blinking, and it was a guy, and he called me and wanted me to come down. I went downstairs and met him at the bar, and he told me he wanted to buy my business. I said, man, I got a son that's worked in every department in the dealership. I got a daughter that's just finishing law school, and she's going to come to work with me. Yeah. And because at that time I had planned to build, I was going to separate everything. I was going to have a Mercedes, BMW. I sold Jeep to T.J. Johnson, who owns Conway Chrysler and Conway Ford, all that kind of stuff. And but I was going to have 3 dealerships and kind of separate everything. But the guy, this was back when Sonic and some of the big automotive groups, Hendrick and all them, were getting involved, and they were paying crazy money. And so one of my best friends was a guy named Johnny Newsom out of Florence, and Johnny had Mercedes and BMW and Chevrolet, and he had just sold out to one of these big groups. And so
you knew it was a good opportunity.
I mean, I told the guy, I'll never forget, we were at Applebee's, because I picked him up at the airport in North Myrtle Beach because he had his own jet and he flew down here. And, I gave him a price. I'll never forget, I was eating a slider and he was eating a steak. He was cutting it up. And
that sounded like the one lunch meeting you took. That was good.
Well, I told him what I'd take, and he said, all right. He said, I'll wire you a deposit in tomorrow. We'll close in 90 days.
Yeah, good deal. Well, we're just about out of time. So what keeps you going today, and what do you still want to accomplish in life?
Gosh, I feel like life's just really starting for me. I mean,
amen, man. I like that.
I mean, it seems like that. I'm getting into writing. I'm writing some music. I'm writing a book, and I got 2 more years left on the State Board of Education, and I want to do all I can to help the kids there. And because, even though in Horry County, you run as a Republican or you run as a Democrat, but I've never walked in a classroom and saw a little second grade Republican or second grade Democrat. They're all kids, and we got to do what we can for them. And,
amen.
And that's just it's been interesting.
That's great. Well, we ain't even scratched the surface, so you got to come back and let's dig in some more. But I like that. So life's just beginning.
Yeah, it is. Well, listen, thank you for having me. I mean, you're a great guy. You do a lot of good things. Just please don't ever book me behind Amanda, and I'll be fine.
I hear you, buddy. This has been a pleasure. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, buddy.
Friends, thank you so much for joining us today. This was a great conversation, and no matter where you find yourself in life, the best is yet ahead of us. Life is good. We live in a good country. Make sure you take advantage of your freedom. Join us next time.